last time you were here, the whole reason you were here is because I wanted to eventually do a multiplayer battle against Raffle and actually beat him. That's the plan.
I think that's possible. Yeah.
That is the end goal. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I have not had time to practice. I told you what happened the week before last week. So we're kind of coming at this at the exact same time. I did do a little bit of a review. I kind of watched a little bit of the gameplay. Or a little bit of the VOD that we did today. What I'm thinking, rather than doing like red, what is that? What is the red? Is it white steak? That's what it's called. Sorry, white steak. We actually we actually go to a higher stake today. I'm down to literally go to the max, because I think what we could do is not only will this help my on the spot decision making, but it helps us like pivot more often. And I think that's one of the things I need to get better at, is actually pivoting, because what often happens is, even when I'm playing off, I don't know if I told you this, I bought Balatro on my phone, and when I go to the gym, what I end up doing is I play Balatro for like 25 minutes, or at least I try to. But the problem with that is I fall into the same habits I've been doing before, which is I get too tunneled on one joker, et cetera, and I don't really like pivot enough. By the way, quick little like hack for you. If you want to just go on the treadmill for about an hour, Balatro might be the greatest thing of all time. Time just flies.
Oh yeah, I used to do Magic Arena while I was on like the cycling machine, and I would just, hours would go by.
Yeah, it's actually, I mean, Balatro's even better, because I feel like there's no time. Like, the problem with card games is that you gotta wait for your opponent to do their turn. So then you're sitting there and you're like, can you hurry up?
Yeah, and there's queue time too sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. Where Balatro's instant, getting those constant dopamine hits. Anyways, so I'm thinking about we could do like red deck. What is the highest stake on it?
Gold.
Gold. Is this gold? Yeah, it's gold. Right?
Yeah. There's like 8 of them, and then gold is the top.
Yeah. What do you think about that? You think that's a good idea?
Yeah, we could do that. And once again, you can, when you play against Raffle, you get to you could pick whatever deck you want. So like we can play red deck for like a vanilla experience, and then if you want to try something else too, I got time.
Okay, sounds good. I just feel like this would be like the next step, and then maybe next time we can do like actual multiplayer and kind of talk through it. We're gonna go through the fundamental, like kind of brief overview of the fundamentals first. Number one priority in the early game is economy. That's basically what I, after watching the VOD previously, was like the biggest highlight is early economy is absolutely everything in this game. Would you agree or disagree?
Yeah. I think that's a good summary. Obviously, there's some nuance there, but that's like the key number one point. Sure.
Okay. Second of all, I remember you saying you'd like barely ever skip. I think the only time you've ever skip is when there's like the gain 25 gold on like the first small blind or big blind.
If you just never skip, you're not going to be punished by that. There could be some situations, like rare situations, where it's better to skip, but if you just never skip, you're not going to miss anything necessarily.
Yes. When you roll down, you want to make sure that you have enough money, to be above the threshold of 25, but also have a little bit extra, so in case you need to buy something, you're still above it. There was...
True, yeah.
Always go for, I believe, the tarot cards first, or the tarot pack first. I remember correctly.
Yeah, that's my preference.
Okay. I thought I'm trying
Arcana, because you have a chance of getting money, and then you can buy other stuff. And sometimes you reroll before opening the booster packs, because you might pick up a tarot card and then open the Arcana pack using that tarot card, or sometimes you reroll after, depending on, if there's more than one booster pack or something like that.
I just want to mention this before I forget. Do people comment on your videos specifically telling you like what you should have done instead? I'm just curious.
I get comments like every once in a while. They'll be like, oh, at 21 minutes or whatever, like, oh, I saw this move or whatever. And they don't really phrase it as like, oh, this is what you should have done. They phrase it as like, oh, could you have done this? Is this something that you missed? Or maybe you can explain to me like why I'm wrong.
That is,
very respectful commenters. Do you not get that?
That is so nice. Oh my God. No, not at all. In fact, on the last specific video we did, I got a ton of comments like, you know what? I entirely disagree with this, man, as you're explaining your entire rationale.
Who is this guy, giving you instructions or whatever?
It's very, very funny. Okay, anyways, regardless. So this is red deck, gold stake. Let's get into this, okay?
Yeah. Another part we do want to say is like, okay, what is the long-term plan? Because then every little move that I do in the beginning is building towards that end goal.
Absolutely.
And so that could be like, what hand am I trying to play? What suit, what rank am I going for? Like, what jokers am I trying to build towards? Like, I don't know what jokers I'm going to get, but I do know what's possible, and I can kind of narrow the field.
I get you. Okay. No, I thought that's...
And so kind of the default is I want to make a lot of face cards. I want to make hearts. I want to make kings of hearts in particular. have the most synergies if possible.
King of Hearts.
If you're playing on gold stake specifically, survival is harder, and then maybe in the short term you're going for pairs. I think are the most survivable because of how spammable the hand is.
Oh, interesting. I've never even considered that. Okay.
So gold stake, because the scoring requirements are so much higher, it's a completely different game.
Okay, now this is why I was actually really excited to do this, because I wanted to hear more about your thought process going through gold stake. I'm assuming for the first small blind, because it's like virtually the exact same thing as white stake, we're just going what we did last time, which is like I was gonna go for flushes here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Round 1 is the same. Round 2 is mostly the same. The thing that I think about is, okay, I'm default gonna play pairs unless I have a reason not to, and so I'm looking for what is the reason not to in whatever run I'm on.
That's incredible. So if you see any jokers that have pairs, you're already locked in on it.
Yeah, so there's a lot of jokers like scale plus mult. They just stack more and more plus mult, and then so like, okay, well, if I can lock in on one of those, then that gives me permission. I can just spam pairs.
Okay, I'm actually really okay. This is gonna be. I never thought about going for pairs on gold stake. When I did like black deck, I never even thought about it. That's
I wouldn't have thought about it either. But then I saw someone else do it, and I saw them win like 10 in a row, and I was like, oh dang! If he could win 10 in a row, then I could probably win 10 in a row too.
Okay. Well, that's actually insanely good. Okay, we have a couple options here. You were literally just talking about pairs. Supernova is kind of an interesting line here because it is eternal, but it is something we can build towards if you wanted to go pair. We also have the buffoon pack. I'm obviously probably not buying this. I don't think it's worth it.
Okay.
So, you said okay, like that was not a correct decision.
So, well, here's the thing. Okay, I mean, you don't want to take a rental, right, for no reason, right? Sure. If I'm just playing for survival, gold stake I want to survive. Supernova is another one of these, like I said, stacking plus mult jokers. And so if we get it early, then we can start stacking it early. That's going to carry us to the point where that's all the plus mult we need. We don't need anything else other than that. The credit card here, what you said, okay, probably you don't take it because it's a rental. There's one minor consideration, which is kind of special here, is if you take the credit card, you can buy the voucher, and the voucher extra hand is going to be useful for spamming pairs specifically. And then so this is kind of like, okay, well, if I have this pair plan, then all of my shopping decisions are sort of warped around that.
Interesting. So you're buying this to go into debt so you could start stacking the Supernova more. That's what you're like.
Or even if you don't, you still, the extra hand is an extra $1.
That is incredibly
so, like, that's kind of the idea, is if I have the Supernova, I don't need anything else for the next 3 rounds.
Okay, so in this case, you're saying that you would buy both of these and then just drop the voucher and then start scaling up the pairs.
Yeah.
And even though we could go into debt, you don't think it's worth going for the buffoon packs because of the fact that we're going to be able to pass both next hands easily with Supernova.
So now that when we were on the white stake, we said there's no drawback to buffoon packs. If you get bad jokers, you sell it for $2 or $3.
Right.
But now that we're on gold stake, there's eternals and perishables and rentals. And if you get a rental, then it only sells for $1. If you get an eternal, then you can't sell it. You can't take it at all, depending on what it is. And so the buffoon packs are still worth opening some of the time. But if we have any other alternative, then it's better to not roll the dice.
Okay, so hold on. We gotta. It's crazy. So on gold stake, you don't even really recommend opening buffoon packs because the potential loss is greater than like on white stake. So you'd rather just see what's in your shop rather than opening packs. That is incredibly interesting. Me personally,
just like in the early game, and also it depends on, if Supernova's not here, if I've got nothing, if I'm barehanded, then I do open a buffoon pack because I need something. Even if it's not great, I need something.
I get you. Okay, so like in the early days, or the early rounds, just to get past like the antes, you would open it just to make sure. Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
Round 2, big blind, and then also round 3, that's the boss. In ante 1, those are all very beatable without any jokers. The biggest one is round 4. So the start of ante 2 is 1,000 points. And that's really tough to do without any jokers. And so the consideration is, if I don't take the buffoon pack now, am I going to see enough jokers? Am I going to see enough alternative options in the next 2 shops?
That makes sense. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Without you here, this is what I would have done personally. I would have bought this and I would have moved on because I think this would have been a really good joker to get. I do really like this strategy though, and I will end up getting it. And then obviously we can hang out. Now, the question is, do you sell this?
Yeah.
'Cause
So
you don't wanna
it
lose the
already
3
did
gold.
the thing. It gave us the debt, and then now we sell it so we don't have to pay the rental fee. And that's a slick move that we can do on Gold Stake now. Is with the rentals, you can buy them, use it for half of the round, and then sell it before the end of the round.
Right.
Sometimes.
So you just don't lose the 3 gold. I get you.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. All right. I like that a lot. And you're okay. So you're talking about pairs. I'm just trying to make sure that I understand fully, like pairs because of the safety net is why you're going for it.
Yeah.
And is that because like the potential jokers, or it's just the easiest hand to play over time?
It's the easiest hand to play. And sort of another hand that's relatively easy is 2-pair, but it's not guaranteed to get 2-pair on every hand. And kind of the same thing with flushes. Like flushes, you can probably get 2 or 3 flushes, but it's really hard to get a 4th flush. And then so even though you're scoring less per pair, the fact that it's consistent and the fact that you can play more of them usually gets you more points overall.
Okay, I get you. So that case, you're just playing this then.
Yeah,
and then you would discard to see if you get another pair, or you see what cards you drew first. Okay.
Typically, you want to be redrawing as many cards as possible every time, because the more cards that you draw, the more information that you have if you just get to see more stuff. So even though you're only playing pairs, even though you're only playing 2 cards, I always pick 3 extras as throwaways.
Okay. So in this case, because we have a guaranteed pair, I just throw these ones away and we keep.
You throw away the low ones.
Okay. Makes sense. Okay. And the other question I had was, because we're a -8, we don't care about economy at this point whatsoever, right? We're just here to get as much malt as possible for our pairs.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, well, every hand I have is worth $1. Here I'm throwing away $1 at a time in order to level up my pairs. But like that's the trade-off that you make is I'm investing in Supernova now so that I don't have to worry about trying to find something later.
Okay. Oh my god. I threw away the king there because we only have 1 more king and then we had more queens, so that's why I did like that.
Yep.
Even though they're both the same. And we have aces still. Yeah. Okay. And what's your thought about gambling on packs instead, just for fun? Like, you're not about it? Or...
Just for fun? We're playing on Gold Stake, my guy.
What's your point? All right.
It depends. I play at different times for different reasons, so it depends on what I'm working with.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's go to the shop here. So let's see what we got. I think like a good way of doing this too is like I'm gonna say my thought process, and then you can tell me what you think about it, because that way we.
Right. So like right here, we don't have any money, so we can't actually make any purchases. But like, what would you purchase if you had money?
You're so right. I was gonna start going through like, hey, okay, do I want to get this?
It is a good exercise, like if we did have money, is any of this thing, worth considering here?
Okay. This one is, in the context of Supernova, this probably isn't very worth it. So I probably wouldn't buy this. Even like if I'm even regarding like the perishable and rental, like I wouldn't even care about the Joker itself.
Okay, so if I'm hearing you're saying that if you're playing pairs, you don't really need the extra discard.
Yes.
Okay.
So okay. What do you think? Yeah, I'm already scared.
I think that's like 98% correct.
Oh,
I think
thank God. Okay, sorry, continue.
Okay, so like the one extra consideration is even though the hand is easy to make, you just play 2 cards that are the same. You still want to draw cards. You still want to draw specific valuable cards like gold cards, blue seals, any other seals, or lucky cards. Okay. And so sometimes having extra discards could be useful for that, but it's not necessarily worth, going out of your way for. It's not necessarily worth, in this case, spending the rental fee for. If it wasn't a rental, then it might not be worth spending $4 for. But like that's something to keep in mind. Even though I'm playing pairs, I still want to draw specific cards.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. This one I think is not needed because we have the malt anyways, so I'm not really worried about it, at least for now. Like maybe if I really needed it later in the game, I wouldn't buy it.
Okay, question. What if it was Todd? What if it was chips? So the same eternal rental, but chips instead.
We talked about that last time. I'm trying to remember what you said, but chips are needed currently because we don't have any base chips. Right? The only base chips we have is like what, 20 plus the cards themselves. So if it was actually like chips, I would probably consider buying it. We'd have to think a little bit more about the rental cost here and the internal factor, because like that's kind of like a bad combo. Let's just say for like white stake here, if it was chips, I'd probably end up buying it.
Sure, yeah. Okay, so if it's not a rental, if it's not eternal, then on white stake you buy it. Todd, you take it. Fly Joker, that's the one that gives you 50 chips for a pair. I think most people, if it's a rental, they don't take it. Like they get kind of, well, first they take too many rentals and then they get punished, and then they get scared of them and then they stop taking rentals. But true. I think if it's Eternal Rental Todd here, I would take the rental. And I think most people wouldn't.
Eternal Rental Todd, really? So
Yeah.
you're doing that because it wouldn't really pay for itself. I guess it would pay for itself, but don't you want to keep playing more hands for Supernova? So you wouldn't even want to get the additional chips?
So the thing is, okay, if it's a rental, it's going to hurt my ability to stack up money to 25. It's going to prevent me from reaching the interest gap. And then in addition, it is just going to cost me money over time, over the whole run. If I take a rental now, it costs me 3 times 24 rounds or whatever it is. And that's like $70. Okay, but what am I spending that money on anyway? And so if the game plan is I already know for sure I want to play pairs forever, and I have Supernova that enables me to do that, then what is the thing that I'm missing from my build? The thing that I'm missing from my build is a chips joker, and I'm willing to go out of my way to lock it in.
Interesting. You don't think you would find it later on? And not...
I mean, you could. They're out of all the common jokers, the chips jokers are the least common. So there's twice as many jokers I give you plus mult compared to plus chips.
Actually, no,
and so if it's slide joker, eternal rental slide joker, I lock it in. I pick it up.
Okay, so you're
even if it's just 50, even if it's just a foil 50 chips, I take it.
Interesting.
But that's only because you have Supernova. If you didn't have Supernova, then I wouldn't lock in the chips before the mold. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay. I'm trying to think of if I would buy the Arcana pack as well or look into it. I guess not really. I'd rather save my money for this one if we only had Supernova.
Yeah. So we want to get up to 25, but there's some wiggle room there as well. And so you can go down to, $18 or $20 or something like that. Wherever you're at in your run, you decide, okay, is the Arcana pack worth the extra $1 of interest? And usually the answer is yes. But of course we can't afford it here.
I can't believe you'd buy the Joker. That's actually insane. Okay, let's see. Do we have any pairs we do? Let me get rid of you, and you. Okay. I'm guessing I'm just doing the exact same thing as last time. That makes the most sense. Skill this up. I was getting a lot of comments when we were doing, I think we were going for like flushes last time. I can't remember. They're like, why aren't you sorting by suit for flushes? I kept reading that comment. Wow, what do I even do
because
here?
If I sort by suit, then I won't be able to see anything else.
Would you just only throw back the 10 because we have a guaranteed pair for everything else?
Against this particular boss, usually what I do is I select 5 cards anyway, and then you discard 2, because then, like I said, it gives you more information. Oh, if I know there's only 11 or 7 cards in my deck, then I know exactly what I'm going to draw when I hit the discard button.
Okay.
But an even more important consideration is right now, since our pair is only level 2, the only chips we get are from the cards.
Right.
So the cards we play matter a lot, whereas sometimes they don't. So here you could try to discard and try to force the lower ranking pairs. So I'm looking for pairs of 2s and 3s and 4s and stuff like that to stall out longer and get more Supernova stacking.
That makes sense. Next thing you get to play more hands. Okay. There's the slide joker.
It's your boy.
And it's like this is 100% a buy, even though we have $3. Based on what you're saying. Now let's just
basically what I'm saying is you're fine with Supernova for one more round, but after the next round, if you don't have a chips joker, you're toast.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. If we were at 7 gold, are you buying the special?
Yeah, I think the high rolls are too important for you to miss out on.
I agree. Okay. All right.
And even more so in multiplayer.
I just wanted to double check. Yeah, 100% multiplayer. 100%. I 100% agree with you. Okay. We don't care about that because we don't have the money for it. Okay. So we are getting 50 chips per pair. So we're still looking for maybe the lowest pairs if possible here. So in this case, if you're talking about that, you were saying how like you want to play the lower value cards. When I start throwing back this now, because I want to try to find lower cards if possible, even though with the slide joker, it's not going to really matter for the most part.
So the last point that you said is really important. Is like, oh, now that I have slide joker giving me chips, it doesn't matter as much, the difference in the cards. But yeah, if I have to play 5 pairs here, then, what's the highest pair that I'm going to do? So maybe I do 3s and 4s and 5s and 7s and okay, maybe 8s. So you could play the 8s as like the highest one and then go lower than that, but you wouldn't play like a pair of 9s or a pair of 10s or something like that.
Okay, so I'm gonna play. It's fine because pairs. Okay. I mean, it's not gonna really make a difference. So you like if we discard here, isn't it like done regardless? It's times 9 plus 50. Like, yeah, there's no way. So we just play the pair here and move on.
Yeah. And just like you said already, is with Sly Joker, it's about the same now. Okay, so now we're locked in at about 800, 900 points for a pair. And now we can plan around that.
I think that makes sense. Again, in this case, we don't have any money, so we're not buying anything. If I was going to buy anything,
yeah,
maybe the Celestial Pack, like one, just to increase the pair, but I don't think I'm buying anything here.
Yeah, I think with the Celestial Packs, the chance of you getting the one planet card that you're looking for is pretty low chance. And then so maybe it's not worth the gamble unless you have $25 and you don't have to worry about interest or whatever. Definitely buy booster packs before re-rolling, but don't necessarily buy all the booster packs every shot.
Okay, I know what you're saying. So the chance of getting, I forget what is it, like Venus? I forget what the actual planet is. The Mercury. The actual chance of getting Mercury is lower. So you wouldn't buy any of these packs. If you had money, you potentially would re-roll here. But again, we're not at that threshold, and I'm going to save the money.
You could say with the jumbo pack, it's like 50-50 whether or not you get Mercury. So effectively, it takes 2 packs to get one, $12 to get one. Is it worth $12 for one? And sometimes the answer is yes, and this time it's no.
Okay, I got you. Because this is I'm like, we've only done literally one Ante, and I've like learned so much. It's actually insane. Okay, so we have $10 now.
Okay.
Like we just talked about, I don't think it's really needed. I'd rather just save the money. This is like whatever. It's like minus $1 to see if we get it, I believe, right? Because both planets sell for $1.
Okay.
But is it really worth spending the money on this? Maybe not. And probably not, to be honest with you. I guess we also get Jupiter, right? So the likelihood of actually finding the Mercury is higher, but it's...
Lesson from last time, you're saying, okay, if there's a Jupiter card, then when I open Priestess, I can't get a Jupiter card. I have a better chance of getting the one that I'm looking for.
Yes.
And then if I don't get the ones that I'm looking for, I can still hold on to them. Like, you can sell them for $1 right away if you need the money, but you can also hold on to them and then prevent them from showing up in the future.
Okay, so you're saying that you would probably buy this?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, we just keep these in our inventory, and then next time we open a Celestial Pack, it's way more likely that we'll end up getting the Mercury that we're looking for.
Yeah. And you can get it to the point where it's guaranteed. So like if I have 2 upstairs and 1 in the shop, then the Celestial Pack will show me 5 out of 6.
Yeah.
And so it's almost guaranteed.
And then you're also saying like you would not buy this anyways, right? You're not wasting $6 for one planet card. You'd rather hold the money and get the extra interest.
Yeah. Okay. Unless I got $30, then I have no problem spending that money.
That's a different story. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. One more thing before we leave here.
Sure.
We should talk about, or at least think about, the vouchers. And so there's like 3 tiers of vouchers. The vouchers that you always take, but only after the big blind. There's vouchers that you always take at the beginning of the ante, always, the first shop. And then there's vouchers where I only take it if I have an absurd amount of money.
Okay.
So like there's some vouchers that even in ante 1, even in ante 2, where you don't have the interest, it's still worth spending the money on.
And this is one of them?
It depends on what you're trying to do. So we said before, we already talked about how does an extra discard help us if we're playing pairs? And so maybe there is a universe where it could help us, but it's not going to help us a lot. So we don't take wasteful voucher here, but we did go out of our way to get the grabber for the extra hand, which is not just an extra hand for points, but it's also an extra hand as an extra $1 in some situations.
Right.
Other great vouchers are going to be... Hand size actually ends up being really important because you can get extra money from gold cards and extra value from blue seals. Overstock is unbeatable. We got to take that one. And then there's others, but you could look at it later and you could think about the vouchers and you'd be like, okay, well, which ones would I always take? Which ones would I, be willing to wait for?
You know what's interesting? I think if I had the money for it, regardless, I just always take it. I wasn't even.
Yeah. I mean, if you got $10, then you take it. Yeah.
But in this, okay, because I think we started with $10 from the beginning before we bought that planet.
Yeah.
So
that could have been a consideration. If it was overstock, then you take overstock instead of the priestess because of how important overstock is. Or if it were the grabber level 2, then you take that, for example.
Sure. So this case would be like you would look what jokers you have. It's more contextual. It's not just like a guarantee you're buying. Okay. Sure. I've never really considered that. I always just kind of be like, ooh, like I can afford the voucher. I'm just going to buy it. This one's pretty simple for us because we're just playing pairs the whole time.
Play only one hand type. All right. You got me.
Okay, nice. All right, now we actually have some cat. Hey, look what we got again. All right, now we got some money. Let's see what we got here. So last time we did this, you really liked reserve parking, and we kind of I spoke about it like right at the start of the run. Economy is like one of the most important things, if not the most important thing in the early game. I think Ante 3 is still considered like early to mid at this point. I don't know if I would call it like early game. I think it's probably still worth it, because if we're playing pairs, we can kind of set up our hand to kind of add more face cards, and therefore we can start making more money. So I would probably buy this, especially because it's
so
eternal.
you're saying that the hand that we're trying to play is easy, so if I just use my discards to find face cards, I don't have to worry about scoring points.
Yes.
Okay. It's an eternal, which means you never get to sell it, you never get to upgrade it for, you know, some kind of higher scoring joker later.
Okay.
Are we okay with that?
I mean, how are we going to find the higher scoring joker if we don't have money?
That's it. You got it. So I would take it for exactly that reason. Like, you know, what's the point of having you an extra joker slot if I don't have any money to fill it?
Okay, wonderful. Okay, I'm glad we got there.
Yeah.
So in this case, the discard voucher becomes a little bit better, because now we have an extra discard to find more face cards, which will hopefully give us more money in return. So there is
okay. So you're saying if I discard more, I find more face cards, that's more money. The voucher actually pays for itself.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So you were saying like you buy it at the start of the ante, at the end of the ante, et cetera, et cetera. This case, because we got the reserve parking, I would probably buy this.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Oh my God. Let's go. Love to hear it. We're
broke right now, but trust the process.
Trust the process. Okay, so like this is our only pair. I'm probably still gonna keep it, and I just will throw back 5 lower value cards.
Oh, question. How many pairs do we need to win?
Oh God, here we go. We're going with the math. Okay, what are we at here?
Where's your notebook? Did you write it down from the last round?
No.
Okay, we're about 1,000 points for a pair. We're about 1,100 points for a pair.
1,100 points. We need 3 hands for this.
3 hands. Okay. So that means we have 2 hands that we can throw away as high card.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Because then we can use the extra to get more money in return, because we have more face cards.
Yeah.
So we keep every face card. I just throw back this, and then hopefully I end up getting a pair here. All right, wonderful. Okay, so we can do this.
Like this pair of 10s, we know that we don't need it.
What do you mean by we don't need it? Like you're saying like you just.
I didn't like you could discard, because like if you use all your discards and you draw like jacks and kings and queens or whatever, you're gonna have 3 pairs. You're gonna find 3 pairs.
Oh, you're saying like you're prioritizing having another face card in hand, then rather than playing like these 10s.
It's $1 difference, but it's still $1.
Okay, so. You're getting rid of this. Okay, I get what you're saying. And you're saying we don't need it because of the fact that, okay, so now we have full face cards. So now we can just start playing this.
And then the aces don't count as face cards.
Yeah, so we can play this as a high card, and you want to probably still throw this back because we'll be okay if we find more pairs. So you want to just discard this hand again?
I would do it, discard again.
Really? Oh
if I needed 4 pairs, then I would play the 1. But if I don't need 4 pairs, I only need 3 pairs, then you're probably fine discarding it.
In this case, you calculate the amount of points you earn per hand, or you try to remember at least from the previous round, to give you some kind of idea to see how many hands you need, and then you want to min-max your money as much as you possibly can.
Okay. Yeah. Just like when we had the the mail-in rebate, where it's like, okay, well, I can play this many throwaway hands, I could do this many scoring hands. What is the hand that I'm trying to play? This is the hand that I'm trying to play.
Sorry, Raffle just subscribed and said, bro loses 1 PvP match and goes on a whole Rocky training arc. Shake my head. Raffle, you won't be shaking your head once you lose. Okay, sorry. In this case, I'm playing this.
Yeah.
Haven't you heard I'm washed? About to lose my 2nd week in a row in the league? Wait, is this true?
Did he lose last week?
You lost last week. What am I doing this for? Is he free now? What the hell? I'm kidding. He would still crush me. Okay, I'm gonna play this, and then we need to make sure.
Maybe
we
you should go talk to that guy who beat him.
Yeah, Raffle, who's beating you?
Because like Raffle's beating me, right? He's got a winning record against me.
Oh, no, you're fine. I believe in you. Okay, we have to play a pair here. We have to, so we're doing this.
We have to. Okay, good.
We have to. Yeah. I didn't black out here. We got it. Okay, and then once again, I guess do we do it with the high card? That's the real question. I don't think we do. Because it has no malt. We have no malt. No, we have to do it like this. I mean, just really
technically we have supernova, but I wasn't paying attention how much we.
Well, if we play a high card, we'll get 2, right? So it's like we also get no chips.
No chips. That's important.
So I'm just gonna play the pair, just make sure we don't lose. Alien cooked me? Wait, isn't that the person who plays like Hades regularly? Interesting. I didn't realize they were gaming that hard. Okay.
I think he's done like Completionist or whatever. He's played all of the Balatro.
All of the Balatro. Oh, interesting. I didn't realize.
I mean, there's only so much Balatro, right? So once you've done it all, you've done it all.
Yeah, but I feel like when it comes down to PvP, like that's when the true grinders come out. Like,
oh yeah.
Like in Hearthstone, right? Like you could be good at Hearthstone, get legend, but the difference between like top 100 and like top 1,000 is actually insane. It's like the people who are like finding every out possible, which is why I think it's so interesting that Rafflu plays this game like every single day. Is losing.
Yeah. My grind right now, I'm trying to get Completionist plus without losing, like just a 60 win streak.
Holy man! And how are you doing with that? Are you doing well? That's crazy.
I'm down to my last three jokers.
What the hell? Oh my god, dude! You are the coach. You are that guy. Like that's actually insane. That is.
I mean, that's like one specific part of the game, though. That's just gold sake. There's other ways to play the game.
Yeah, but what you just said is like insanity. I'm pretty sure. Like that is high level like Balatro that most people won't even touch. That's like 0.001% of people. Completion plus. You're acting so nonchalant about it.
I've been working on it a long time. Yeah, I put in the hours.
That is crazy. Okay, sorry. Let's get back. Holy, that just blew my mind. Okay, I never take this Joker. $8.
Never.
But here's the thing.
Okay.
It kind of pays for itself over the next 5 runs, and the next 5 rounds, and we seem like we're fine in terms of points. And it's like kind of like an economy Joker, right? So we could start building up more capital while we're opening packs. So maybe in this case, especially because it's like debuff for 5 rounds, or it's perishable, sorry. It's fine. Like we can keep it for the time being to like try to find something later. So
let me try to talk you down from the ledge.
Oh, you think this is insanity?
So
talk you down from the ledge.
It gives us money. Actually, it gives us a lot of value because if you're getting one celestial pack every 2 shops, then that's like, I don't know, only $5 every 2 shops, which is not that much. But if you're re-rolling, then you can buy a planet card for $0 and then sell it for $1, and then that can give you a little extra value when you re-roll. But the problem is the value that it gives you is allocated. It's has to be planet cards only, and you don't get to spend that money on anything else. If the astronomer is keeping you from buying your value generators, keeping you from buying your standard packs, and it's actually costing you a lot of money in the long term.
Okay, so in other words, this is just never worth it.
If it were Ante 5 with the same set of jokers in Ante 5, I would take it, because then it's like, oh, I already have enough money for all the booster packs, and then the astronomer is extra value on top of that. But right now we have like priorities.
Yeah. Okay. So like currently we don't have the capital for this to ever be worth it. So my logic was like
it gets better when you have more money.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Yeah, we're not playing for this one, so I'm never buying this. Standard pack, like I guess there's a couple reasons for it. Like red seal's fine. We can also get the blue seal, maybe a gold card as well, something along those lines that kind of pays for itself. But
all of those things, that's what you're looking for.
Arcana pack itself. So if we get Hermit, we get $4 for buying it. If we do get Temperance, it pays for itself. So other than that, we could look for like deaths to try to copy more cards to get more pairs, or get pairs more likely in hands. But like these both kind of do the same thing in a sense, but this one has the chance of being like a stronger card. So like I don't think this is really worth it right now. I'd probably buy this if I'm going to buy anything, but I don't even think I'm going to buy it here. I'd rather save my money.
Okay, so if you were going to buy something, you're prioritizing the standard pack because of like, if I'm going to get a value generating card, I need to get it earlier. So I think that's a good choice. I think that's, especially if you're playing pairs, you don't get punished for adding cards to your deck. So you can kind of just, whatever the value generator is, I could take it, I could fit it in, I could work around it. So yeah, I would agree that you would prioritize the standard pack over the Arcana pack here if you had the money, and then you're saying, okay, well, maybe I don't have the money yet. We'll just be a little patient here. We'll wait till we have $20 or $25.
Yeah. Okay. I am going to take this time to see how much money we actually make by playing this. I'm pretty sure, because this allows me to get a decent amount. It lets me get rid of 5 cards. Even though we're not making maximum money, it gives me an idea of how many hands I actually need to play to get to 4,800, because I truly don't remember. We can do the math here, but
okay, yeah.
Let's see what we got. So it's about 1,400. So if we play 4 hands, we are fine.
Okay, so 3 more from here.
So in this case, do you want to keep the pair is the question. You're saying you would say no because you want to find more. But it's a little risky, right? No, I guess we have 4 discards. We should be okay. Worst case scenario, we just end up playing the kings.
Assuming you have a hand of 7 face cards, it's going to be hard not to find 3 pairs out of those 7 face cards.
Okay. So again, we discard everything. We're discarding to see as many cards as possible, as well as getting as many face cards. Okay.
All right.
So in this case, it's this. Gets rid of the most cards in my hand. We keep as many face cards, and we're also still playing a pair. Technically, we could get rid of just play the single card here because we're gonna play I guess this is actually better, right? We know we need to play 4 hands to get to this, and we could actually throw this away right now just to get maximum value here. Because the worst case scenario, we end up start playing pairs from face cards.
Yeah.
Okay, so we just play this. Okay. And then now we start playing
now
this.
you're an oil baron. You're filthy rich now.
Let's go. Okay, we have to play this, unfortunately. Yeah. And then we'll see what our last hand is. Okay.
And then now we're up to 1,700 for a pair.
1,700.
A pair of face cards.
Okay. Oh my god. Okay, let's see what we got. Gluttonous played cards with club suit gives +3 more when scored. Probably not needed. I probably would not buy it.
Okay.
Played card with club suit gives 7 mulligans. I mean, why would I buy this when I can just buy that if it's $2 more? I don't really
you could do both if you're going to play clubs anyway. They're synergistic, right?
Right, but are we going to play clubs? That's the question. I don't think the good thing about pairs, right, is pairs don't have like a dedicated suit that we got to worry about. Unless you think so. You were saying at the end, like you were saying at the start, you got to think about where you're going to end up, like where the end goal is here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are clubs the correct suit to go for? Or is it more like hearts is what we're looking for?
I would say in like an 8 ante run, if you just want to win gold stake, I would say clubs. I would prefer clubs.
Okay.
The hearts are more powerful because you get the multiplicative effect. You get times 1.5 times 1.5 from the bloodstone. So like in multiplayer, usually you're going for hearts for that reason.
So hearts are better for like higher scoring potential, but if I'm just trying to get to beat the gold stake, clubs are fine.
You could think of it as like just short term versus long term.
So would you buy the clubs here? Again, they're perishable, so they only last 5 rounds.
Okay.
In white stake, I get what you're saying for sure, right? Because it's like you just you buy.
So what's the boss here? I wasn't paying attention. What's the boss here? Okay. Face down after played. We have 1,700 points if we play the pair of face cards, and we get slightly more if Supernova is a little bit bigger than that. So we can beat the boss with 4 hands. Okay. The question is the next round. So the next ante is going to be 9,000 points for the small blind. Do we have enough gas to beat 9,000? Or technically we get more scaling from the Supernova between now and then. And so the question is, will we have enough gas at that point in time in the future? And so maybe that could be a consideration for taking the Onyx Agate if you were feeling like, okay, well, maybe my Supernova is not enough or it's not scaling fast enough. Maybe here I can just inject a little +7 on top of everything, and maybe that's enough to get me over, these hills in my future. But I think here we're fine since we have 5 hands.
Okay, so because we got the voucher and we're able to play 5 hands, we're fine, which we've already seen to be 9,000.
Mm-hmm.
If we didn't have the extra hand, this is a mandatory buy based on the amount of points we have. Like we would need to get it just to actually survive here, but we're fine for the time being. Which means I'll go for it.
Yeah, and we don't have leveled up pairs yet. So if you did play a flush, the flush with 5 clubs would actually score more than the pair. Despite all the work that we've done with Supernova, the Onyx Agate would score more points.
Well, that's just suppressing, but it makes sense. I get you. Are we buying the Arcana pack? We would still be over the threshold, so it looks like it's a good decision because re-rolling here doesn't make any sense if we're going to try to stay above 25. Which I think is the end goal here.
So regardless. You're saying it's a non-decision. It's okay if I got the money, I'll buy the Arcana pack.
Yes.
Cool.
Okay. Wait, sometimes you say things and I'm like, is he being genuine? Like,
I mean, you're allowed to get it right the first time,
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
We've talked before, right? So you remember the previous lesson.
Right. I don't know. The reassurance is it's also interesting because I can't see your face, right? So it's like it translates.
If I'm like squinting, I'm like, giving you the stink face. Like, how do I soften this blow? How do I let him down easy?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so now we go to what we got here. We probably don't need this. I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad. This is like unneeded unless we want to just sell and try to look for it, but I don't think that's what we're spending our money on. I mean, we could Gamba, not against it. Death is fine. I don't mind the Chariot either, just to get more points, but I don't think the Chariot's really needed. So I kind of like Death where I like Judgment. But I think on average, we're trying to find pairs as much as possible. So we're probably picking Death, which means we're probably going to do something like this. Actually, hold on, like this, to try to maximize the amount of spades in our deck. Wait, hold on. We go back in time here.
Okay, go back. Okay.
You told me last time that you think aces are dog, like they're bad.
That was an opinion that I gave you, yeah.
Okay, so in that case, because we don't think aces are good, like that was my revelation from last time. I remember my mind being blown. We don't want to copy the ace. We'd rather copy something else. And now I'm thinking about it more. We have reserved parking, which means we want to actually copy the face card here. So we're copying this.
So you're like, okay, I got reserved parking. I want to make more face cards. Even if I don't have reserved parking, there are a ton of jokers that reward me for having face cards. Common jokers that reward me for having face cards.
Yes.
And then so it's sometimes worth it to sort of just preemptively start making face cards. I will say for pairs,
okay.
Pair is the one hand that you don't have to enable in any way. You don't have to do any work deck building wise. And so you don't need to make more face cards for the purpose of making pairs. So like if that's what you're using the death card for, that's not something that you need to do.
Okay. So you're saying
you can use the death card for other reasons. So like if I want to play in the future, if I want to play a more complicated hand like 4 of a kind queens or like a flush 5 kings or something like that, then it's makes sense to make the extra face card for that future. But for the purpose of playing pairs, I don't have to worry about it.
Okay, so based on the context of this run, you're saying like because we're leaning into pairs. Obviously, for this purpose, we're probably just gonna like finish gold stake. I think that's probably the end goal here.
Okay.
You're saying the death card is not worth it, which means
it's not doing enough here.
Okay, enough is a great way of putting it. So you're thinking that there's another one here that you'd rather pick a different tarot card.
Yeah.
Which
so definitely death helpful here, but it's small, it's marginal compared to something else could be a bigger help here.
Which one do you think is the biggest help? I'm actually very curious here because I think based on what I understand, at least like a lot of people probably would have picked this one because people like making their deck more consistent, but it's interesting.
I would take the Judgment card. It has a 1 in 4 chance of giving you an uncommon, and no matter what Joker it gives you, it won't have any stickers, so it won't be a rental, it won't be perishable.
Oh, is that? Oh, I didn't realize that's the case. Okay, that's awesome because I guess the Jokers in the shop are the only ones that can have those tags.
Right. So like the value goes up on higher stakes.
Well, you know what? I'm kind of validated there because I was half right. I said one of these two, and
that was the first thing you said is like, oh yeah, wait a second, it's round 8. I still only have 3 jokers. Maybe I could get another joker. Any joker, right?
Any joker. Okay, I like it. Oh my god.
That's huge. That's a huge get.
Oh my god. Okay. That guarantees we don't need any of these for sure, and we can just move on. Okay.
For people who don't play gold stake, +8 is a huge get.
That's actually insane. What are the chances?
Okay, but how does that affect our score?
You know, we're gonna have to. I'm too I'm too stupid to do the mental math in my head.
Okay. Let's shortcut. So let's not like actually do all the calculations. But how much does Supernova do?
Supernova, like without this, right? We were saying what it was like 1,700 with the kings or like with the face card.
Right. Sorry, I want to know how many pairs have we played?
Oh, sorry, 20.
Okay, 20. So the way that I think about it is the Jolly Joker +8 is like another 1/3 of 20.
Okay, so if we're scoring like 1,700 with face cards,
so it's like another 500.
Yeah, it's another like 500 or so, a little more than that.
Okay.
So
which makes the difference now. Instead of playing 4 hands to win, now I only need 3 hands to win, and then I can plan around that.
I see what you're saying. So you're saying just full discard and get as many face cards as possible.
Yeah. Because like this boss here, where you draw the face down cards, like that could make it harder for us to get our pairs, and we might want to save discards in order to protect us from that. Or if we figure out like, oh, I don't actually need that many pairs anyway, then I'm not going to worry about it. The boss.
I'm going to assume we're going for the ladder here and we don't worry about it because we know we have enough points.
Yeah, if you wanted to play it super safe, you could save 1 discard. Like still discard here, but then save 1.
What's your okay, hold on. What's your thoughts about just playing the 5s here?
I think that's a safe play. If you were concerned, if you didn't have as many hands, if you didn't have as many discards, I would start playing the 5s here and then Yeah, just like that. Like you only get an extra dollar. Maybe it's not worth the extra greed to discard.
Yeah, so like that's where when it comes to card games in general, I'm a very like safe player. So if you weren't here to like kind of min max what we're doing here, like I think right here I would have just played this hand.
Yeah. And I think I would too.
Okay.
In the first 8 rounds or the first 7 rounds or whatever, we have no money, so every dollar counts. And then now we have enough money, so maybe the extra dollar doesn't matter relative to what we already have.
Okay, I agree with that. It's not worth the risk. Risk mitigation at the highest level here. Okay. Is there any way we could tell what this is? These all no, because it would be suits. Okay.
I can tell you they're not queens.
Okay, so
hey, that's information. That's not nothing.
You are right. You are 100% right.
Okay.
In this case, we're just full discarding here because we'd rather draw face-up cards to see what they are.
Yeah.
Which I think is correct. Unfortunately, this did not help us at all. So again, we could play the kings here. The benefit of that would be, yeah, it's less money, but then we also get to discard as many cards as possible to get more face-up pairs. I'm kind of for. I guess we could also just do this to be on the safer side. I kind of like that. I think that's fun. I think that's fine. We have enough money. Because now I can full discard and see what we end up getting. Yeah. Okay. And then that's lovely. We could high card this though. Hold on.
Okay. So you're telling me I only need one more pair, so we can greed a little bit.
We can greed here, right? If I remember correctly, last time you were saying that if it's like a face down card, we still could potentially get money from it, right? If it is a face card.
Yeah, it still works. You just don't know what it is.
Okay. Now the question is, do we want to do this? No, because we're gonna go past it, so we just play this on its own.
You could play the ace and 1-3.
Oh, that might have been that was probably the correct play. Now I don't know what this is.
Well, if you save the 3s, then in the final hand you can play the 3s, and you don't have to play the jacks, for example. So like there is some benefit to keeping the 3s.
Is this enough points? Hold on, I wasn't actually paying enough attention. I think it is, right? We know it's 1,700 plus. It's like 500 more with king cards. With face cards, it'd be around 2,400 at this point, which is enough. Okay, hold on, I gotta do the math here. I gotta double check here. So face cards is plus 10. I realistically could just do the math here. This is 22 plus 8 is 30 plus 50. So 50 times 30 is what? Old 1,500 plus, so it'd be 6. So it's actually 56 times 30, which is 1,600. It's almost 1,700. Hold on, I'm actually doing the math just in case I have to play these jacks. So you don't want to mess this up. Plus 1,680. That is enough. Please tell me to the math right. Okay. All right. That was 2,000.
We only needed 1,500 there, so we score more than we did the previous round.
You're right. Sorry. No way. Someone said no way you brought up a calculator for 50 times 30. Listen, if I'm on like a final exam, I don't care. Like I've done this before. I don't know about you, but where I was like on a final exam and I was just double questioning everything. So I was doing like 4 times 4 equals 16. Just to make sure.
Yeah. I mean, measure it once and then check it twice, right?
Exactly. I'd be too scared. I was too scared. Okay, it's fine. Okay. Woof. All right, we got a lot of money now, which is fantastic. We're not going for straight, so this is probably not needed. And this literally makes 0 sense to get. It's just, I mean, actually,
hold the phone. Well, let's bust out the calculator here. Okay, minus $3 and then plus $4, right?
Plus $1 after 5%. Wait, we're getting like plus 4 after 5 rounds. Is that really needed? Probably not.
I mean, the point is it doesn't cost you anything.
That's fair. That is fair.
It's plus $1. If you open temperance, then that's an extra $1 of temperance value.
And then I can still sell it for $1 anyways, right?
Yeah. Okay, so you buy it for $1, you sell it for $1 later. It's net 0.
We open this one first. That was the general consensus here, because we will be buying packs first before we're re-rolling.
Okay. Last time we said open the standard packs first because the standard packs give you information about what you might want to do. Like if I get, let's say, a red seal 8, maybe that gives me information I want to build 8s. And then so I go into the Arcana pack with that new information. Okay,
so I was going to do this one specifically because if we get like temperance or something, but I guess, yeah, this is always correct. You're sure.
Yeah, you're always going to open the standard pack eventually, so might as well open it first.
I mean, I don't really care for the 4 of spades and I don't really care for the 3 of hearts. There's no point in a pair deck. So then it comes down to, do we really want the glass card? Glass card, if we're going for multiplayer strictly for points, I think it's like a mandatory buy.
Okay. It's a bullet that you get to keep for later.
In this particular case for gold, do we need the ×2 malt in order to actually beat the final ante? You could make the argument, yes. I don't think there's like necessarily a huge negative for taking the card. I would probably take it.
You said maybe we don't need the glass so much for our particular build. And part of the consideration there is the glass ×2 happens before our supernova. And then so we really only get the ×2 on whatever our base mult is, however high level our pairs are, which currently is nothing. But it could be higher later. That could be something that we're working on, is leveling up repairs, and maybe the glass card matters later. The other thing you said is, okay, well, there's no real downside to taking it. So like I could take it and there's some marginal upside where it's a face card for the reserve parking. One minor hesitation is, okay, any future valuable card that I get, if I get a gold card or a blue seal in the future, then any cards I take now makes that future card more difficult to draw.
That's fair.
Not necessarily a big difference, but it is a difference. And then so do I want to take the glass card or not take the glass card considering that?
The opportunity cost of taking a glass card then, if we're considering maybe getting like a seal, is like way worse. Because if you brought up the fact that it's not really multiplying a ton, it doesn't really seem worth it. The counter argument to that though is this is another king, which could matter if we go for like a specific joker, but in this case it's not going to be probably what our build's going to be leaning towards.
We got 3 eternals, so we're not exactly like flexible too much.
So in this case, based on the seal, because that seems like it's going to be more impactful and a higher priority, and I'd rather find it more often than not, then I'm not taking it. So I'd skip it.
If it's not PvP, then you don't need the glass card.
Okay, we did not get a temperance or a hermit, so then we have other things to make, or other things to decide. We could just sell this and get another random joker, right? We paid for this. If we got temperance, it's like whatever at this point. I think a random joker is better than this, but there's other options we can take. The Wheel of Fortune, I mean, I'm about it, but it's probably not the correct decision here. There's no way. The Fool is the same thing as basically taking this, so there's no point. Do we really care about converting cards to spades? You could make the argument for it, but currently we don't really care for it. It's just like to maybe like skew our deck towards spades, which is fine.
Yeah, you could make the argument for like setting up a long-term plan where like, okay, yeah, we'll spam pairs for the first 7 antes and then switch to like a flush house or flush 5 later. And then you could make spades for that, or you could wait and make hearts, at another opportunity.
Okay. And then we also have Empress, which is not that, I mean, it's fine. I don't think malts are a huge problem though. I think our malt is like kind of okay for the time being, and it's only going to get stronger. So it's like, is 4 malt on 2 cards worth it? I don't think it's like the highest priority here. I think the correct decision objectively is Will. Your thoughts? No, I think it's judgment.
I think I would still take the judgment. Okay. I think it's close between wheel and judgment.
Was wheel actually a consideration there? I was kind of just trolling.
The wheel is the real deal. So right now, what is the thing that our build is missing? You're saying, okay, I already have a ton of mult from Supernova. That's why I don't need Empress. Right. But if it were Hierophant instead, if it were bonus cards for plus 30 chips each, that could be useful if that's the thing that our build is missing. And so the way that I think about the wheel is when it does hit, half of the time it's going to be foil, half of the time it's going to give you the 50 chips. And currently, if our chips are only coming from Slide Joker, 50 chips is a ×2. That doubles our score if the wheel hits.
Right. And it always does, right?
I mean, we got that streamer look, right? But I would take Judgment here just because we've got some empty Joker slots and, like I said, 1 in 4 chance uncommon. So you have a pretty good chance of getting an upgrade.
Okay. Unfortunately, I mean, it's kind of whatever, but it is what it is. I like the wheel logic, though. That's smart. Okay. We also have the money for the voucher. We were talking about, do we want to get at the start of the run or after? We could roll. If we roll that, we can't buy the voucher immediately. And I'm not sure if this is going to matter. It would only really matter if it comes down to that Joker that says you can't play the same hand twice, which could just end the run. So I do want to buy this at some point, but it's not really needed at the moment. We could buy it at the end. We do have the money for it though.
Yeah. I want it, but I don't need it now. I can wait. So in that case, maybe like the one minor is very minor. Maybe misplay that we did was not re-rolling before opening the Arcana pack. because then like, okay, if I figure out my budget, okay, $6 for this booster pack, $4 for that booster pack, not buying the voucher, I have 1 reroll worth of money, or I have 2 rerolls worth of money. Because we could have gotten a tarot card that the Fool could have copied, or we could have got a tarot card that we could have used inside the Arcana bag.
Okay. Knowing our misplay though, you're still re-rolling here no matter what.
Yeah.
We talked about how Empress isn't really needed, and we don't.
If we were holding the Empress, then the Empress wouldn't have shown up in the booster pack.
Right. So that would have made our Arcana pack better. Okay. So in that case, do we actually buy this preemptively so we can mitigate that problem in the future? Because we don't seem to be really buying Celestial packs here at this point.
I would say it still costs money to buy the tarot cards. It still costs $3. If I'm going to hold an Empress, it still costs me $3 to pick it up. But I think having like a few extra enhanced cards in the deck can just objectively be useful. A couple extra bonus cards for extra chips, a couple extra molt, not all of the time useful, but just a little bit useful sometimes. So I would take the Empress in general, and then I would hold it and not use it right away. So like that's consideration is you would take the stuff that you would already take, but then you don't have to use it right away. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Not sure which one was better between the two, but I think Full House makes sense.
It's all trash.
Ultra. Okay, so
in multiplayer, I like leveling up full houses because you can put 5 glass cards out of nowhere.
That is fair. Okay, and then we don't need to reroll here because if we reroll, we're probably not going to buy anything in the shop. So we'd rather just keep our money.
Okay, you go down to 26, and then it's okay. Well, if I have only 26, then maybe I can't really afford anything.
Yeah.
Since we have parking, we mentioned this last time. Because parking gives me money each round, my budget is actually higher.
Okay, so
like if I get $6 from parking, my budget is actually I have $38 in the bank and not 32.
So you would take this additional reroll then because
I would do it, yes.
Okay. I completely forgot that we talked about that. Yeah, you're right. Okay, well, unfortunately, I mean, it is what it is. I don't think we're buying any of these. We don't care, so we just go to the next round. Because spades versus clubs don't matter. Yeah. Okay. I was thinking about skipping there. I don't know why. Full mold for face card or full discard for face cards.
Question.
Okay. Yes.
How many pairs do you need to win?
Oh, great question. Let me do the math here again. Hold on. Well, now we have this club thing. I don't know if I'm really going to count it for the most part here.
Okay. What we can do is we can play a tester hand. So like you continue discarding, and then when you draw a pair, play a tester hand.
Yeah. Okay. You want to test with the queens?
I would go one more.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's fantastic. Okay. So I got to pay attention to this. These are also no clubs. Okay. 2,000, 2,400, 2,500, somewhere around there. So in order to get this, we need to play at least 4 hands.
Okay.
Those were low, so we could technically get more points here. But yeah, we need to probably play every hand here at this point, unless we want to use the Empress.
Sure. Yeah. You could use the Empress.
I think we have to
so let's hear. You said 3 more hands, so you have high card once and then pair 3 times. Another thing I think about is the next round. The next round is going to be 13,000. The next round is exactly 5 pairs. And then so sort of thinking about how much I need in the next round then influences my shopping decisions, like whether I might want to reroll extra in order to set me up for success.
Okay. Yeah, because like this is kind of the next hand will be the last one where we can kind of get away with this until we need something else.
Yeah. Okay. That's it. Yeah.
I'm right there, right? We only need to play 4 hands for this after seeing what this is.
Correct. Yeah, you had the math perfect. Yeah.
Okay. So in this case, we could discard one more time and just see what we get. More face cards, so I guess that's fine. Okay. And then now we want to go for, we could play 1 high card because we've already played 1 hand. We could get away with this.
He's getting away with it.
Okay, and then we play this.
3 pairs. You did it. You win.
Okay, beautiful. Wow, that was so unlucky. What the hell? Okay, and then we play all of these to get more pairs if possible with more face cards in it. Okay, and then fortunately we have to do this. Okay. Okay, max money, which is good. Okay, here we go. Dusk. Dusk is kind of a dead Joker for the most part. I mean, it actually ends up being okay. It's not like it's better than like the gluttonous Joker. The question is like, if it's eternal, do we really need it, or do we want to take it? Is an interesting decision, because it's not like horrible. It does set us up so that we have like a huge jump in points, obviously, for our very last hand, which could matter. It's like what, doubling our hand in a sense. So it's like a 5,000 hand. If we end up getting like for each final hand played, that's kind of okay. But it's not going to be really something I want to keep for that long, right? So I'd probably never keep this, especially in a pair build. It's probably not worth it. Like the more I think about it.
Okay. So you're saying is if I'm going to play 5 pairs, then like making the 1 pair extra good on the last hand doesn't really change that much, is what you're saying?
I would say if this wasn't eternal, I could see a world where I sell this and buy this.
You could speculate. You're like, okay, well, we could roll into something that makes it better later. We could find some synergy later if it wasn't eternal. Yeah, that's it. So
we don't care about this. What's our blind at? Okay, so we got to think about this specifically as well. We talked about last shop how we want to roll first before we go to the Arcana pack and buy the packs themselves. If we roll to go to $36, that's still enough money to be above the threshold, so I'm fine with rerolling once. This is counterintuitive for our build, unfortunately, and we probably never buy this. So we open the standard pack first. Okay, not needed. Steel card, probably not good enough to actually buy. The argument for it is that we get more points, but also we don't really want to keep like non-face cards in our hand for money, so it's not really worth it. Okay. So I'm not buying it. And 1.5 is probably not good enough, so I'm skipping it.
And important to note, if I was going to use it for more points, like what is the way that it gives me more points? Like what is the vector? Is like, okay, I need to have higher level base molt in order to benefit from steel.
Yeah.
Because steel happens before supernova.
We are not. We do not have that at all. Okay. Which gives us, Hermit, obviously fantastic. It's more money, which means we can level up. Roll down. We could sell the gluttonous Joker for another random Joker. That is a consideration, I think. And then Magician's like, okay. So
same as the Devil. It's just the Magician is a money generator.
So in my opinion, it's between the Hermit or the Judgment. I think Hermit is better because that gives us at least 2 more rerolls to try to find a better Joker. Okay, so you're saying 2 rerolls is 3 Jokers is better than 1 Joker from Judgment. Yes.
Cool.
Okay. All right, let's see if we can
Easy.
find it. No, I mean, we do buy this. I think we always buy that. Okay. I like that. Makes us a lot stronger, which is good. And then we get one
a lot stronger. Yeah. That's insane too.
That seems very good.
It's not free, but it makes you stronger to the point where you can be greedier potentially.
$1 to get this is like absurd. Obviously, it has the rental, but like that's so good for us.
You'll pay the price.
You really think I will? I mean, that means we can go for as many face cards as possible because now we're getting additional plus 20 mult, and we also got more base chips to begin with.
Okay.
So short term, it makes us a lot stronger, which means that we can actually be greedier to get more money from reserve parking, which I think is good. It's also negative, I guess.
Okay, so not having to worry about the Joker slot, you're saying that the extra power is worth the money. It's a lot of money for the rental. It's a lot, but it's worth it, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay.
What do you think? I'm curious.
Okay, so speaking of power equals money, if we swap out the gluttonous Joker for the mail-in rebate, that's another way that we can make money now. Okay, so by selling this, getting this, and this, we mitigate the problem of this because we can make $5. We can pay this off without really worrying about the power loss that we're going to lose from selling gluttonous Joker. Yeah. Okay, I actually like that a lot. And I think of it as the other way. So rather than like the money mitigates the cost, the power enables the money. You're so right. Okay, I agree. Okay, so okay, all right, and obviously we're not re-rolling there. And now we're gods. Yo, what do you think about that? No. 2 pair. Okay, no. What if it was 3 levels in pair? You're playing pairs. Oh, sorry, give you 3 levels. Yeah, sorry, I read that as 2. I said I read that as pair. That's an interesting conversation, if each Mercury, let's say, is $3, I mean, you're not. It's never worth it. It's never worth it.
I'd rather have the
So
money.
you could say, if there's a Mercury card in the shop, it costs me $3 to buy it, but how much it costs is not the same as how much it's worth. What are the other ways that you can get a Mercury card? You can get a Mercury card from a Celestial pack, but only a third of the Celestial packs have the Mercury cards. So on average, it takes $12 to get one Mercury card.
That's
so
not
that's
worth it.
like,
It's not worth it.
you
It's
know,
never worth
$30,
it.
$40 worth of value potentially
Yeah.
if you get like 3 levels.
I mean, when you say like that,
But it's relative to how many levels you already have. So if you don't have any levels, 3 levels is great. If you have, you know, level 8 already, then maybe 3 levels is not as important. It's relative to how much value am I able to generate if I don't skip.
I mean, we're definitely getting a lot more value from not for playing the hand.
Okay, great. Yeah. I think that's correct.
The immediate bump in power might be a consideration if we didn't have the econ for it, like the current econ. But I don't think it's ever worth it in this case. So especially because we got the mail-in rebate. So in this case, also we've had this. I think we had mail-in rebate last time too. I can't remember. Mm-hmm. We were talking about how playing cards in this case is better than discarding because discarding threes is worth more money than playing hands, right? Something along those lines. Mm-hmm. So in this case, like if I find a pair, I might as well just play it off the last discard here because I'd rather have the potential chance of discarding multiple threes because we still have 3 in the deck.
Yeah. So like reserve parking and mail-in rebate are kind of opposites, right? Where one rewards you for using your discards, one rewards you for using your hands. And so it's difficult to do both at the same time. And so probably you want to prioritize one or the other. And I would personally prioritize the mail-in rebate because if you do the calculations, okay, it's overpowered. The number's too big.
So we'd rather play this hand then, I'm guessing, right? Then discard. We could do this.
Yeah, as like a throwaway, like throw away the... Oh, we also have not answered the question, how many hands do we need? So without half Joker, we needed 5 hands to win. Do we still need all 5?
Plus 20 malt? Probably not. Well, let me just rip the math here again. Hold on. So it's 20, it's 35. No, we don't need 5 hands anymore.
Okay.
We need 4. 4? Okay. Or is it 3? I'm second guessing myself here. I'm pretty sure it's 3.
A quick way to do it, which will work most of the time, is like, okay, I get 30 malt from Supernova. If I add half Joker, that's 40% more. And so 3 hands will score the same as 5 hands.
You're so right. Okay. Yeah, you're right. Okay, so it is 3. In this case, are we just fine with playing this then? Like, it comes down to like how much do you actually value the reserve parking here?
Right. Also, you don't have to use half Joker on every hand. You could still play 5 cards if you want.
Oh, yeah, I guess you're right. If we do it like this is actually not getting the plus 20 malt, which means this is wasting a hand. Well, I'm wasting a hand.
Well, it's not wasted. It's just that could be part of the calculation. Sometimes you want to sandbag on purpose. And so 5 regular pairs works, or you can play 3 of the enhanced pairs, 3 of the half Joker pairs.
Okay. So in this case, because we know 5 is going to be okay, we're going to probably make it regardless here. So this is fine to play. Like we're fine with playing this because we want to try to find as many 3s as possible. Okay. Well, that's unfortunate.
Bummer.
We still have a lot of 3s. Okay, so in this case, we could do one more discard here. We could also just play the pair like this. And again, we know that this is fine, so I guess we'll play with this one more. Oh, yes. Okay, nice. I guess we just discard this and keep this and hope that we get another pair for the reserve parking. This is plus 10. I think I'm fine with this.
Usually with the mail-in rebate, what I do is once I've gotten 3 out of 4 cards, so like if there's 4 3s in the deck, once I've gotten 3 out of 4, then I don't worry about trying to get the 4th one.
Okay, so then I'm okay with discarding this.
Yeah.
Okay, let me just do this. Well, that wasn't enough, yeah. Okay, so with the half Joker, that was about 6,000 points, a little less than that. Okay.
Yeah, a little less than 6,000.
A little less than that. Okay. Which means we have a lot of money. So we need $8 for this. We were talking about how we want to buy the voucher. So we're going to do that probably regardless here because there is a potential boss that we will just lose to. So I think I'm buying this no matter what. I think this is, I need to mitigate the potentially the future problem. So I want to buy this no matter what. Which means if we're going to
cover all your bases.
Exactly. Yeah. So if we're going to buy both these packs, we could reroll once. See what we get. None of the above. If we reroll one more time, we're at 35, which means I might as well just open this first and see what we get and go from there.
Sure. I think also important, this particular boss, is going to cost us money if it costs us $1 per card. So we take that into consideration as part of our budget.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
If it's PvP, you don't have to worry about the boss effect. We did pass on an Emperor, and it could have been worthwhile to take the Emperor instead of the Earth card.
Oh, you're probably right. Yeah, I would agree with that. Okay. Okay. I gotta remember that for the future, because this is kind of just sat in our hand and done absolutely nothing. I mean, this is fine, but again, I don't think it's really needed. Like it's plus $3, I guess, which is cool.
Okay.
I don't really care for it. Would you take it? I'm actually curious.
For just a generic gold stake run, for a generic pairs run, I think gold seals are powerful enough that it doesn't hurt you to take it. Actually, pretty actively good to take it. In like multiplayer, probably you don't take it because it keeps you from drawing your like higher scoring cards later. It depends on where you are at in the run also.
Sure.
Like early gold seal is going to matter a lot, and then like middle gold seal is not going to matter as much.
Do we really need the econ though for this? Like, I guess there's not really a fault in taking it. I guess we're more likely to get 6s, which is like maybe in turn good for mail-in rebate because it's more likely to hit, I would imagine. I think that's how, I guess there's like a percentage.
That affects the mail-in rebate. The difference between 52 and 53 cards maybe is not a big difference for them. Considering the mail-in rebate, okay, I think that's smart to do, but then maybe don't worry about it too much in this particular situation. Like the difference between 30 and 32 cards is a big difference, but then 52 to 53, not a big difference.
Yeah, because the percentage is smaller. Okay, all right, I can take this one. Okay, I got your side.
And that's kind of how I go when I'm playing pairs on gold stake. Is I just take whatever. I just take anything that gives me value. The thing that you said about like, oh, it seems like we're making a lot of money right now. You never know how much you're gonna need. You never know how many rerolls it's gonna take to get whatever Joker that you need. Like maybe I need an X-Molt Joker still.
Okay, I get what you're saying. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think when it comes to these tarot cards, we don't really care about spades. We have nothing that works with it. This is again kind of whatever. The Fool for the pair seems like it probably is the most worth it here. So I would sell the Earth to grab that.
Yeah, sweet.
Because this still might be needed. We're not 100% sure on that. And then this is good.
Okay, maybe for the folks, who are watching at home, I'll emphasize this point. Like, we're making a choice between, you could use the Empress and then use the Fool to copy it. You could use the Empress and then take 2 random planet cards from the Priestess. The random planet cards help set you up for a future hand if you want to try to pivot to a future hand. Using the Fool to copy the Empress helps you if you're deficient in Molt. The reason why we want the planet card specifically is because that's the thing that we're missing right now. The thing that we're missing right now is chips. Planet cards give you a lot of chips relative to how much Molt that they give you. So usually what your build is looking like, you get a lot of Molt from Jokers and then most of your chips from your planet cards. So like figure out, okay, with my build, what am I deficient in and how do I get the thing that I'm missing?
So you're talking about earlier with like the money here, right? We're losing 1. I hope you're writing this down. Mm-hmm. I'm not writing this down. I'm playing actively. I'm going to review the VOD. We're not re-rolling here because we got to think about our overall like economy. And because we're playing...
Yeah. And after the boss, there's a voucher. You might want to buy the voucher. So
that is also
you want to have a little bit extra budget for that too.
So in this case, because we're losing $1 per each card played, I kind of just want to get out of here as fast as possible, right? I want to set it up with discards, but for the most part, I want to just not play high card. I want to leave if I can.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, I'm kind of okay with just playing this. Maybe that. But we could discard first, I guess. And try to get as many.
Well, in this unique situation, you probably only want to play 2 cards and not 4 cards because it costs you $1 for every extra card.
Oh, sure. Okay, because of the like half Joker only needs less than 3, and it's -1. So we could play this and see what our next hand looks like because I think I just want to get out of here. So. And that mitigates a lot of our problem. Okay, that was 7,000, so we need to play the minimum of 3 hands. We don't have a pair here, so I'm okay with discarding.
Okay. Sick.
Do we have it? No, but we do get the 3, which is nice. So we discard again. Okay. Game, come on. Hello. Do we want to play like the jacks in case we end up getting a 3? Probably. If it works out, it's entirely worth it. So I think I'm okay with taking the risk.
Okay.
We get one more hand here.
Yeah, the parking is only 50% chance to give you $1 on your cards.
Yeah. So in this case, I'm fine with just discarding these 3 to see if we get more face cards. And we did not. So we'll just play this.
All right, 7,000 for that pair.
Okay. Fortune teller, we don't really need the malt, so not worth it. Photograph doesn't work well with our reserve parking.
It kind of does. So like the way you use parking is you save the face cards and then at the end you play them. And then so you get the photograph on your last 3 hands.
And is that worth it enough to get rid of like the Jolly Joker? +8 malt for more. Well, it times it's what, 40, so that's actually like doubling our chip. I mean, obviously it's doubling our chips, but that's actually quite a substantial amount.
Well,
right?
It's doubling the malt, right? So the 4 malt is double.
My bad, sorry.
Yeah, so currently it's a +4, which is not exciting, but it gets bigger when you get more Mercury cards.
So do you like, okay, that's actually extremely interesting though. Do you buy it preemptively? I guess in this case, you could open this first and see what you get, because maybe you would be more likely to buy this if I ended up getting another Mercury, but like this does not seem very worth it for $5 currently. Because this is that, but I'm also saving the money. And then this is also...
Okay, so you're saying right now $5 may be expensive or it's eternal, and once we pick it up then we're locked in, and you're saying right now it doesn't really do a lot for us. It definitely does less than the Jolly Joker for us, but you said maybe could get better later. Is it worth taking now knowing that it could get better later? And I think the answer is yes. I think the chances of getting either a red seal or Chad as a common Joker are worth picking up the photograph now.
I can understand it. So you would not even open these packs first. You would just buy it preemptively, or you'd buy it before opening any pack.
With no information, I would take it. Yeah.
I don't know if I would have done the same thing without you. That's interesting. So we open this one first, the Arcana pack first. How do we feel about this? Hold on. Target cards appear 2 times more frequently in the shop. That is kind of good for us.
Okay, why?
But is it $10 worth it? Well, I mean, we're happy with at this point in time getting like more face cards is actually like beneficial for us, especially if we want photograph. We want hermits, we want more temperances, and if we could hold tarot cards up there, that means they're more likely to be found in the shop.
Okay, so what you're saying is if I get more tarot cards, I can get more face cards.
Yes.
So rather, if I get more tarot cards in the shop, it makes it less likely that I find jokers, but maybe I don't need to find jokers because I already have jokers. What I need to do is I need to build the deck that gets more use out of the jokers that I already have. Does that make sense?
That sounds beautiful the way you said it. That was so elegant.
Yeah. And then also in PvP, just getting like specific tarot cards like glass cards and death to copy them and stuff like that are all like very important. So like Tarot Merchant, that's one of those where I take it every time. And then sometimes I'll take it even if I don't have $25 in the bank. Like maybe I only have $20, but I'll still take the Tarot Merchant anyway.
So this one's that good that you're willing to just take it no matter what. Like this is like
in my experience, it has been good for me. Yeah.
So we want to, this is also, you had the discussion earlier, like do you buy these at the start? You want to buy this as early as possible because you want as many chances to see more tarot cards in your shop. So you would buy this at the start.
Yeah, if I take it now, it affects the next shop.
So if I buy this, we go to 33. We would open this and then potentially this depending on what we get. Okay, we're definitely opening this though. Okay, we don't really care about the world, magicians, whatever. I'm queuing it up.
Huge, big money.
No. Okay.
You get it next time.
That's a huge cope. Celestial pack here is fine as well. We're above the threshold. Like I'd be okay with buying it. And if we get Mercury, it's worth it. I'm not.
It's not high expected value, but it's better than a reroll.
I agree.
It's better than not taking it.
Does it matter? I mean, 2 pairs fine. So is 4 of a kind. I mean, they're all whatever. You were talking about full house is very good for multiplayer and gold stake specifically, even though we're not building our deck around it. Like it's probably just Uranus.
In gold stake, I like pair and I like 2 pair. In multiplayer, I like full houses. Okay. Another thing to consider, because you could go the Fool. The last card that we used was the Mercury card, and then so if we do get a Fool in the future, it would copy now Uranus. But maybe that was
fine. Probably. I mean, I think in this particular run, because we seem to have like a tube or a pair angle going, I think that's actually probably better is just skipping it for the Fool.
Yeah, most of the time if I'm playing Gold Stake, I'm just on the one hand the whole time, and then so I skip the Celestial packs.
Yeah.
In multiplayer, I've been leaning into taking the extra planets just in case.
Just in case. Okay. Yeah, I think in multiplayer you don't have as like much leeway, right? Because you need to go against someone else. So it makes a lot more sense.
All right, I'm going to ask you the same question I've asked you 7 times. Is how many pairs do we need?
Okay, last one was what, like 9,000? It was somewhere around there.
Somewhere around there. 7,000 for the last hand.
Okay, so let's go with like 7,000. We need to play minimum 4 hands if we're going
4 hands. Okay, easy. Done.
Okay, so we just discard this whole hand. Oh my god. We get to play 1 high card here, but I'm okay with discarding to try to find as many face cards as we can. We're looking for 5s here. In this case, I will play 1, just 1 hand.
Wait, is it on 5s? I thought the rebate says queens.
Oh, sorry, my bad. I read the $5. And I was like, this is okay. We still haven't found any queens, have we? No. Okay, so now we got to think about this because we got to make sure that we're playing minimum cards. I think it's still fine to go for this, but in this case, I'm probably doing like this to guarantee we have enough points.
Yeah, because we do need the 4 pairs, so let's not mess that up.
Wait, was that enough? Wait, now I'm scared.
That was less.
Because it wasn't a face card. I mean, the face card will multiply it by 2 though. So it's not as.
So the face cards are +4 molt.
Which is because we had +4 molt last time.
Yeah.
And therefore it was good. In this case, the Empress might need to be played here because now it's getting a little sketchy.
Okay.
And we could put it on like the kings to double, like because this procs before it gets doubled, right? Because it's on card.
It does. It gives you the +4 first. I would split them. I would go 1 king and 1 jack.
Just because we have the 2 pairs anyways. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of okay with just kind of playing them because again, I'd rather win the game than just get more money. So that's 7,000.
7-9, so closer to 8,000.
Okay, so again, we kind of want to. I think discarding here makes more sense than not because we need to find more. We need to find another pair of face cards. 1 queen, but we need to keep the queen. We're living on the edge here. So I need to fully discard to find a queen or another face card. Okay. Whew.
Okay, it's fine. It's okay.
Okay. Oh my god. Okay. So this is fine. Obviously, we're not making money off the mail-in rebate, but we don't really have a choice here. Okay.
And that's why, randomly those +4 molts, they can matter.
That actually ended up mattering. I forgot when we did the previous one that we had the other joker. So
yeah, we had the +8. And, again, +8 doesn't seem very crazy, but, it made the difference there between like 6,000 points and 7,000 points, right?
So that has me thinking, like, as much as we like the mail-in rebate, we need to start thinking about how we're going to get more points here because that was a 4 hands.
Okay.
But the next one's a lot higher, right?
Okay. So if you're like, if I can do 8,000 times 5, that'll give me the 40,000 points that I need, 37,000 points that I need. But I can't necessarily do that many 8,000 point hands because I don't have that many face cards.
Yeah. So at this point,
could be looking for something else for points.
So in this case, because of that reason, do we roll down to try to find the points? Because now it's like a little bit more sketch. We don't have that much time. Now, obviously, we want to keep our economy. You said we're fine for the next one, right? You get 37,000. No, probably not.
Well, we're fine if we play 5 pairs of face cards, but I don't know if we have 5 pairs of face cards, right?
1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, 1, 2, 3. I mean, we do if we get like every face card, basically, right?
Yeah. Which, is possible since we have 4 discards, but it's not guaranteed. So maybe what you do is you open the booster packs first, and then that gives you information about what are my needs and what are my capabilities.
Okay. We do this one first. So if we're looking for face cards now, because that seems to be a priority, I would love to take this, but I don't think we have the luxury of taking it now because we're kind of on edge here, right? Like where this makes it less likely that we'll find more face cards.
It does. And our molt card specifically, I think it's powerful enough. I would take the risk.
You're taking the risk here.
On the blue sticker, I do, yeah.
Okay.
I think also, when we do get the phase cards, we don't necessarily get a lot of extra molt. We just get a little bit extra molt from the photograph. Compared to, we said, okay, our actual deficiency, the main thing that we're missing right now is chips. So having the stone card would be better.
Okay.
Stronger. It would be stronger if that's something that we wanted, is we wanted strength.
Yeah, I listen. I understand why you want this, but me personally, like I would never take this in this spot. I'd be too worried that I wouldn't get enough points. I actually kind of like this. I kind of like the.
I mean, it's another value generator. It's not a blue seal, but it still gives you money. So like that's not nothing.
Okay, I think. I mean, you're a better player than me, so I think you'd be fine with taking this. Me personally, I would take this just to guarantee, like not guarantee, but help mitigate the problem that we're currently having.
Right. Because there's also this question of like, okay, yeah, maybe we can beat the big blind, but then can we beat the boss, which is going to be even bigger?
Yeah, exactly.
And the stone card is a yes, and then otherwise, maybe we still have to answer that question and we have to re-roll or something.
Okay, I'm gonna grab this then. I think we're okay with opening this as well. Yeah, we go below, but again, we do make money, and potentially this gives us something that will help get us more points. I mean, I'll take $11. Because the other ones kind of don't matter unless we want to sell this for a potentially different Joker, but I don't think that's worth as much money. I don't think it's worth the money. I'd rather have an extra roll, but I'd take the temperance here.
Yeah, it's not a lot of money, but it's fine. Flash card is scaling molt, so the maximally safe thing to do would be to swap the mail-in rebate for the flash card and then re-roll once.
Oh, just for the +2.
So the +2 is not going to matter this round, but in the next round, we will probably re-roll 3 times, and then that'll give us points to help us beat the boss.
Okay, I can get behind that, sure. I can get behind it. I like that.
But it's not as good as if we had just gotten a chips Joker.
I agree.
And then so you could also consider like, okay, well, if the thing that I need is chips, maybe the money from the mail-in rebate is what gets me to the chips Joker, rather than taking the flash card.
There was a conversation there for sure. Okay, there is an argument to reroll one more time, but I don't think it's really needed. So, because we will have enough points to get here, so we don't need to reroll one more time.
Okay.
The argument against it though is that rerolls will be more expensive if we're going to reroll more often next round. But we technically lose. I'm gonna like in quotations here. We technically lose money here if we don't actually get enough money from reserve parking, because then we're not at the $25 threshold. But it's cheaper to reroll right now to get +2 molt.
We don't have to worry about mail-in rebate anymore. So
reserve parking. Sorry, not mail-in rebate.
Well, what I mean is that before we had a little bit of tension between reserve parking or mail-in rebate, but now if we don't have mail-in rebate, it's easier for us to get parking. Except we also want to play our face cards for the photograph, and then so maybe now I'm not going to get very much parking money. I shouldn't expect very much money here.
Okay, so you're saying we would just skip this to try to get as much money as possible for next round?
Yeah.
If I'm understanding that correctly. Okay.
We'll try our best.
We'll try. Okay. So once again, we need to play do we get we got +2 molt. We're looking for face cards to play pretty much at this point. So I'm just getting rid of all of this. Okay, stone card's good. So we want to throw back the 6s. Okay, we have 2 kings. Again, we can get rid of all of you to try to get more face cards here. We can do it once again as well. We have a couple more face cards in the hand, so it kind of makes sense. Okay. In this case as well, we can go 2 kings, 1 stone card.
You could wait to draw one of the molt kings with the stone card, and then so sort of like combo the extra chips with the better molt.
I agree with you.
And so maybe like save the stone card until you absolutely have to play it.
Yeah, okay, so we can do it doesn't really matter, but yeah, we can do this one. Okay. This draws us the most cards possible, and we're still playing into half jokers. Yeah.
The half joker.
Okay. So once again, we have to play a pair here.
Yeah, that's not good.
Which means we have to do this, and I guess, this is close. We get rid of you because we don't want to play the stone card yet, right?
Yeah.
So if we end up getting, oh god, okay, this is gonna be close.
Yeah, probably what happened was when we had the pair of kings in like the opening hand, probably we should have played the pair of kings before discarding, because like two of the discards, I think you only discarded 3 cards at a time, and then maybe that was a waste of a discard, knowing that we need the face cards.
So focusing on money here was the misplay then, rather than going forward.
Yeah, I think we went a little bit too greedy.
Okay.
Just a little bit.
Okay. Don't worry, we'll be fine. Smile. For sure, right? This is the only play I think we can make currently with the current situation, right?
Yeah.
So.
We need to draw the Molt King or else we lose.
Okay, so this case.
Not getting any pair, we also lose.
Okay, hold on. Believe we have to full play this. That's the question. Or that's not a question. We have to full play all 5.
Okay, so it's a throwaway.
It's cooked.
Oh, we're so cooked, man. Too close to the sun. You know, if you're playing multiplayer, you can lose a life to the big blind, and you actually get reward money. You get catch-up money. Sometimes I'll do that. Sometimes I'll just like, whatever, just send it, and then give me the pity money.
Okay. Unfortunately for us, it's cooked, I think, here no matter what. We also didn't draw any other face cards, which has been unfortunate as well.
Yeah. Only 14 cards left in the deck, which means we got bottom decked a little bit. But definitely we messed up the discard a little bit.
So if we played the kings at the start, right, to have more pairs, or you're saying for like an early pair, right?
Could have played the pair of aces, could have played the pair of kings.
Okay, yeah.
But the main thing was just I want to discard 5 at a time instead of discarding 3 at a time while holding.
Yeah, okay. Which would have got us further down to our deck.
Yeah.
Do we get to see the hand we draw? I'd be curious to see if we actually would have just got screwed. We don't. I mean, okay, regardless of the loss there, though, I mean, that was probably a misplay on my part because I got a little too greedy for the money. There was still a lot to learn for gold stake here.
Yeah. And like some repeat lessons from last time, too.
No, absolutely. So do like a quick little recap here. Gold stake pairs are generally pretty good.
The reason for that is the blue stake is -1 discard. And then so it makes it really hard to get any kind of reasonable hands.
Yeah. I get what you mean. I guess that you could use that concept like what's the one where you get -1 discard? Is it black stake?
Blue stake.
Blue stake, yeah. So you could start using that principle like at blue stake would be probably the smarter thing to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Another part of the equation is blue seals are really overpowered, being able to give you a planet card every round. So like here we ended up at only, I don't know, level 6 or 7 pairs or something like that. Whereas like if you have the blue seal, you're getting 1 planet every round for all 20 rounds or something like that, and you can copy them with death cards and stuff like that. And if you're playing a 5-card hand, it makes it really difficult to hold on to a 5-card hand at the same time as holding on to blue seals and holding on to gold cards. Whereas if you're playing pairs, you can kind of just throw 5 and just dig through your deck, just dumping all your cards until you draw the blue seals more easily.
That makes sense. Next time we do this, you want me to have updated multiplayer? So that will
let's do an honest, we'll do a multiplayer practice, and then we can talk through our decisions as we're going along.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so it'll be against you, but you're gonna like go through.
Yeah. So like in theory, we're on the same seed. We're seeing kind of the same stuff, and then so I'll tell you what I'm thinking as it comes up, and then you can tell me what you're thinking as it comes up.
Okay, I'm so down for that. That actually sounds great. Okay,